go. We're going live because we're already
5 minutes, 10 minutes late.
13 minutes late. We were just 13 minutes late. You know, technical stuff. But we got some cool things where we can cut out. Our commercials will be live today. So we're good. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We didn't really have them. We just started a little late figuring out this new system and how we can do our commercials that we have. So stay tuned for those. That'll be dope.
College football week 0, baby.
Week 0, college football. Let's get it.
Did you smoke any meats or anything like that this last weekend in preparation?
Sure did not in preparation, just because it was like my
you always do,
weekend.
but
we did pork shanks.
Okay.
Yeah, boy, it's first time doing pork shanks. They were delish. Smoked them for about 6-7 hours, and then overnight in the oven at 170 till you wake up. Come out perfect.
3-headed monster today.
3-headed monster. Did you haven't been checking Slack for a while, bud?
Dude, I have been so in another world lately. Sorry.
Well, I need you to get out of that
I'm
world.
trying to get into this world.
I need you in this world.
That's why that conversation needed to happen before I sat down in here.
Good.
We were not going to be in the right world.
There have been a lot of shitty shots lined up just to get you in the world.
Well, and I was in a vacation world last week, so
he's back.
He's back.
Welcome,
Okay.
and it's a whole new setup. There's a lot more things.
Yeah, there's
gadgets.
so many things. I'm kind of overwhelmed.
I would be too. I am. I have to do the
just
clicking.
slap my hand if I start touching buttons.
Yes, right. Yeah. So let's. I don't. The thing is, I don't.
Did the
also
tornado hit Steve today?
Yeah. Real hard.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Tornado Tuesday got
Tuesday.
him.
Not Dinger Tuesday. Don't get it.
It wasn't a dinger.
But yeah, I think next week we need to have that printed out because I don't have my computer and I don't have enough room for said computer.
Well, I need to pull up Steve's Slack as well to make sure, because he had his rundown, and we'll hit some of the things that he talks about as well.
Some of it, but not all of it. Because
No.
Did you check? Well, you probably didn't look.
No,
He needs to be here.
I saw the breakdown of just like the breakdown page where he was breaking down the bets and why they were good.
Yeah.
I mean, good work.
I mean, I don't know.
We can't do that.
Did he
justice
add
like
this?
He's a good follow.
Yeah, right.
He added his top 3 picks and then his bonus pick on here at the bottom. Okay.
Those have been there.
I know, but I didn't see when we were asking and talking to him earlier, like any others, and he's got some like top picks that he likes.
Yeah.
So we can talk about those. I mean, recap this week isn't going to be that heavy. I mean, we got some news, but recap wise, we'll go to the old BMW Championship quick.
That was a good one.
Pull up the. So Cantlade ends up pulling it off. Your boy, Cole's boy, Adam Scott, actually played pretty darn good.
I hate both of those guys.
I hate both of those guys.
And I honestly, Ryan, we had this conversation, I had this conversation with somebody. Like, I have no reason to dislike Cantlay.
No.
Like, he's just one of the guys that, like, when you see them,
wanna
there's some
punch
people,
them.
he just have a punchable face.
He absolutely,
quoting Step Brothers.
He absolutely is that person.
But Adam Scott has always kind of been that same way for me. I don't know why. I can't. It's those things you can explain. There's teams.
Horschel's that way for me.
Teams
No, Adam
you do
Scott,
or don't
Adam
root
Scott,
for. There's
literally
people
said
you
it's
do or
because
don't
of
root
his
for.
putter.
So yeah, Adam Scott 100% is because of the putter.
Because he has a putter that goes up to like his top of his head.
Him and Bernhard Longer.
Yeah,
Is
but
that
at
his
least
dad?
He's old.
Do you think Bernhard Longer could be Adam Scott's dad?
Absolutely. Age-wise, 100%.
He just slept with a really tall supermodel. That's how Scott got his height. Yeah, makes sense. It's all coming together now.
I'm placing a bet right now.
Oh,
Okay.
I got a promo. MLB special. Max $50 bet. 2+ hits to be recorded in the first inning of the Yankees-Mets.
gotcha.
I like it. It got boosted from -140 to +125.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead.
Who's starting tonight?
I think it's Scherzer.
And
I don't know.
And the Yankees pitcher.
Yeah, like
Are you just banking on the Yankees pitcher giving up 2 hits?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
The Yankees are on the struggle bus.
No. Oh, that was last night. It's who? Walker and Montez.
It was for sure. Scherzer started last night
That was
because
last night.
I have a buddy who's a big Mets
Got it.
fan.
I was
And
like,
they almost, like, Scherzer had another really good start, and they almost blew his really good start
They did.
again.
They lost.
Maybe it was. No, it was because he literally tweeted out, "This guy's still a bum." He
Yeah,
tweeted
they
it
lost.
back in like April,
They lost.
and then he tweeted again.
It was awesome.
Yep, still a bum.
Love it. Only got a 3-game lead. Anyways,
So I'll just, as we talked about, so with the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup playoffs, kind of how those work, I'll just talk about starting positions quick and just who's where to start the Tour Championship. The largest comeback after our first round deficit was 11. I think Cam Smith did it. It was 11 strokes. So if that
So you're
precursors
saying
any
there's a
inkling-
chance.
There is a chance, but if it's any inkling, so starting positions, Scotty Scheffler, 10 under.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Cantlay, 8 under. 7 under is Will Zalatoris, who withdrew this past week for back injury.
Back injury.
so, like
Could have
been
been
2 herniated
could have been the guy
discs.
at 10 under.
That's bad.
He could have been the guy at 10 under,
Right.
but he had to withdraw and not have the points.
I just don't see him. I don't like. You don't just play golf with herniated discs.
Mm-mm.
Ask Tigger.
So
Like, that's not a
Is that what
Yeah.
is that what Casey had earlier this year, or was he just
Casey. I don't know.
who knows?
He's a
I
bum.
don't like him either.
He's a bum.
6 under Xander Schauffele, 5 under Sam Burns, 4 under Cam Smith, Rory, Tony Finau, Sepp Straka, Sung J M, 3 under Rahm, Stallings, JT.
Can we talk about Sepp
Neiman,
Straka?
Hovland?
Like coming out of, I mean, yeah, he qualified and has played well and won. I think he made. Did
He's
he
won
win
twice, I
one?
think.
Yeah, once or twice this year. But like, that's the name to me. Like when I was reading through the board, like
Yeah,
if there was like if I had to pick
Oh,
one name,
hey.
that like, am I surprised that he's in the top like 30th? Maybe
nice.
not, but like
To
in the
be
top
4 under.
10?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah, that was the number there. That was the one guy that just jumped out at me. So he's at 4. He's starting at 4 under.
Yep. He's at 4 under.
Good for
3
him.
under is, so 3 under, John Rahm, Scott Stallings, JT, Cam Young, Matt Fitzpatrick. 2 under, Homa, Hideki, Spieth, Neiman, Hovland.
Mhm.
1, Morikawa, Horschel, Hoagie, Connors, Harmon.
Right.
And then even is KH Lee, JT Poston, Sahith Theegala, Adam Scott, Aaron Wise.
See, and that's like where I would expect to hear like the Sepp Straka name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like all of the guys that he's
He was.
ahead of, you're like, oh wow, like I guess playing some good golf behind my back.
Oh, as of 8 hours ago, FedEx Cup number 3, Will Zalatoris has withdrawn from the Tour Championship with 2 herniated discs.
Say
So
Yeah.
he completely withdrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was,
you won his. Hope it was worth it.
Yeah.
Won one tournament.
hope it was worth
So
it.
Herniated his discs.
outside of that, there was a
Gotta be careful
couple.
with that word.
Outside of that, there was some
Or do
solidification in the President's Cup. So 6 guys that are for sure President's Cup guys for U.S.
Yep.
Burns, Cantlay, Finau, Schauffele, Scheffler, JT.
Solid squad.
And then the Euros, they have 8, and I'll pull that up here as I'm going.
And that final number is 12, correct?
Yes.
It's six auto, 6
Pick.
captain's pick, and then on the European side, it's 8 auto, 4 captains.
Yep. So assuming no more live moves for Quail Hollow, the core international team for the President's Cup, Cam Smith, Hideki, Neiman, Sung J M, Corey Connors, Ju Young or Tom Kim, Adam Scott, Mito Pereira.
Mhm.
We'll get into the live
Yeah,
news.
yeah.
We got
Yeah,
some of
that's
that I think is going to. I don't know. We'll get to it.
it won't
But
shake.
But so I think it's what's fun about it is you got some staples with your Adam Scott's. It's played in it for however long. JT's been there 3 times. Other guys, a couple times for Schauffele, Finau, Cantlay, those guys. But then you got a ton of newbies on both sides, not just on the U.S., not just on the Europeans. Connors, Kim, Mito, Sam Burns, a newbie. Who else is a newbie out of the 6? Scheffler's a newbie. So the number one player in the world right now is a newbie on the President's Cup team.
President's Cup's, I mean, actually, and we've known this, I think, since looking back at last year, is going to be way more exciting than the Ryder Cup, simply from a competition standpoint. Because the best players in the world,
it's best on best.
The best young players in the world are Americans and actually non-Europeans right now.
Yeah.
Besides like Rory and Rahm,
right?
The rest of the great players are on the President's Cup, not on the Ryder Cup. So
yeah, that's fair.
But that's kind of our golf recap. Yeah, if you want to go into
football, what about the Cowboys, huh? You guys got a returner on your hands.
USFL MVP.
If you don't sign him, someone will. He earned a spot on the roster as a returner with those returns.
Oh, they're going to get him. I mean, they don't have enough receiving depth not to get
on top of that
run. And like they set him out the second half of the next game or whatever.
Cavante Turpin.
Basically showing that, hey, we're not.
Yeah, you're good.
You're good.
You're good.
You're not getting no pink slip for you.
Nope.
So
it has some wheels.
Some of the moves that I saw on like his punt return gave me a little bit of flashbacks. Like I was a big Dante Hall fan. I mean, for obvious reasons. Yeah. Obvious reasons.
Twice removed.
Exactly. But like stop, go, forward, back, cut, and then all of a sudden
speed.
Don't touch me because I'm at full speed 5 yards and you're still trying to get up to 75%.
Yeah, and he's pretty big for a return guy, just like overall mass for running a 4.3.
Yeah.
So like that impressed me. Also, it's nearly impossible in today's NFL to return a kick or a punt. But the fact that he returned a punt and a kick in the same game, to me says a little bit less, just because that just means the team that they were playing was really poor on special teams.
Right.
But at the same point, like I know how difficult.
You say he's big? He's tiny. 5'9", 153 pounds.
What?
Yeah, dude, he's tiny.
He's like Darren Sproles.
Who was I thinking of?
I don't know.
There's another guy I was thinking of then.
Good thing he's on your team.
Yeah. I mean,
Darren Sproles is 3 inches shorter.
Yeah, like I'd like to.
But he's 40
I'm thinking
pounds
of somebody
heavier.
Specific, not that guy though. I mean, honestly, I don't even know the guy's name, and then he's on my team.
Cavante Turpin.
Yeah, I just saw that he was the USFL MVP. So get him the ball, let him make plays. Put Zeke on the bench.
Oh yeah.
Get Tony Pollard and
all the touches.
USFL MVP some touches.
Give him all.
So he reached 20, almost 21 mile an hour on his kickoff, and he was 20.95 mile an hour on his kickoff and 20.86 mile per hour on his
elusive
return. That is fast.
It's slightly above average.
That's
good.
Dude,
that's good leg turn. My legs won't turn over that fast. I don't understand.
Don't move that fast.
I look at them and they just don't go that fast.
Isn't that funny though? Like you look at like some people who run and you're like, I don't have the leg turnover.
Right.
How do you get your legs to turn over that
Have
fast?
you guys done like the speed treadmills at all at like Acceleration Iowa or
no.
Like have you ever been on one of those before?
I've walked on it just to see what it was like.
No, they're like we did a couple of training sessions. I think back in high school, even when Acceleration Iowa was just opening up.
It's back.
And
healthy.
Like
continue.
Those things, I mean, obviously treadmills in general will make you run at a pace, but like that's a different level of you're running 10 seconds at call it 14 miles an hour or 18 miles an hour or whatever. And like obviously, so at that point, it is either fall on your face or your legs are required to move a certain pace. Like if any one of us, normal human beings, is thrown on a 21 mile an hour treadmill, we are getting road rash on our face. And like just to think about that is that like, in order for my legs to do what this person's doing on TV, looking relatively relaxed, like run down the field, just run really fast, that we would actually be crashing our faces into the ground is always like the picture that I get in my head when I see like speeds, and I'm like, oh, my legs wouldn't do that. Like I would
I'd
Like
be,
it would literally just be road rash on your face. And so like to me, like that's what, and being a slow person, I always marvel at the grace of people with like the Usain Bolts of the world, where it's like, oh, he just ran that fast, and like he's not breathing heavy, or he's looking sideways or backwards. Or
Tyreek Hill giving a peace sign as he's 19 miles an
19
hour.
19.5 miles an hour, right? Like
I can't run full speed and try to attempt to do something.
right.
I will fall.
Like, I'm not
Don't
sure
know
that
what
I can
happens.
like jog down the road at like leisurely pace
And
and
to
give a
do
peace
that.
sign like without twisting an ankle or something. So yeah, just always marvel at the speed. Something I never had. So
Absolutely. Well, let's recap. We're going to try this transition, this commercial break, for the first time ever.
let's do it.
So bear with us, and we'll come back and we'll get into some news. We got some really good clips, and I'm really excited about it.
I saw the
you saw one.
precursor.
You saw one. There's a couple in there that you guys haven't seen. I'm really
right.
excited to talk about. So we'll
All
get
right,
to
let's
it.
do it.
Welcome. Our fireside chat. This one's going to be hot. A couple of topics will be overall trust in a relationship between your planner and yourself.
It's our job to figure out what's in the best interest for you.
We have to start this game early.
How do I play this game patient enough to see this trade turn to fruition?
Real estate in general can have a lot of tax benefits to you.
Listen and subscribe to the No BS Wealth podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
this is the preview. Now we're back.
Now we are back.
Now we're back. But it stopped after 2 or 3 minutes. We just have to come back and push the button again.
Gotcha.
But we are back, which makes sense. It's 5:03. All right. Now let's make sure we push.
Guys, we
buttons.
color coordinated pretty well today.
Yeah. We did it on purpose. It's fine.
I mean, I only have so many colors in my closet. I think they all usually coordinate.
That's fair. All right. Let me get to. We're going to start with. We're going to get golf out of the way, and then we're going to get into them.
Okay.
We're going to end with. We're going to end with a glizzy. We'll just put it that way. We're gonna end with a glizzy.
Yeah.
All right. So here is the tweet that came from, God knows, one reporter out there about the meeting with Tiger, Rory, and the 1,000 others. So here's the quick summary. Players discussed a potential for an 18-event tour within the tour, where 60 top players would compete for 2 WGC-style events per month with $20 million purses. The remainder of the tour season would be filled in with events for lower mid-tiered players who could get upfront money. $500,000 figure was suggested that would go against tournament winnings. Very live-like. Tour could relinquish its nonprofit status, which would open up the possibility of private investment from billionaire figures such as J.P. McManus, where players like Tiger and Rory would have equity stakes. I'm assuming there's a couple other players that would have the opportunity too. Tiger and Rory being the main driver of all of this. Pro PGA Tours also discussed the possibility of talking to LIV at some point. And apparently there are 7 players are set to be announced to joining LIV after the playoffs conclude. All of them participate in the first playoff event. Now, I think that's down to 6 now, is what I've seen since this, and it's only been. I mean, this is out 4 or 5 days ago.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
And so that's interesting. What are you guys' thoughts from this meeting with this new 18-event tour within a tour type play? Because this is on top of what the PGA already announced they're doing.
That's what I was going to ask. The top 50 or whatever players at the end of the year on like a mini tour type deal with $20 million purses each event. My thought process of that is, with the tour already doing that.
Well, I believe it's on top. It might be included.
Right. Like,
I mean,
are
it's
those
going to have to be
those events have to be
some
included?
combination of.
Those events for me have to either be included almost, or they have to be higher purses.
The which ones?
The ones that were already like announced they have to either be higher purses to make them a more prestigious event that the PGA Tour already came out with, or they just get added to this 18 event and they're like, oh, hey, you know what? This is a better solution.
I mean, I like this because ultimately the players want to play against the top of the top. And that's what this is designed to do. And for us as fans to have 2 of these a month,
right,
on top of regular play plus majors, I mean, really what you're going to have is you're having a split of the tour. You're having the top tier tour. You're having AAA and AA type ball being played, which is completely okay because we have to have better development. But I mean, I really think it's a really cool change that fits well within the realms of the tradition, the legacy, but also inclusion of, hey, it's modern time now.
So based off of this, this includes the playoffs, 48 PGA Tour events throughout the year. 18 of those would be this. The other 30 would be the low to mid tier people that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, my initial reaction is a little bit of disappointment, more so just from like, it's too much in my opinion. Like 18 events of the top 60 players. Like, I don't need to see 18 events of the top 60 players.
I think it'll get cheaper.
I need to
personally,
see
one a month,
4,
Four?
8. Like, are they match play events? Then sure, I can see a couple more. Like, are we changing formats? I just don't need 18 more events where it's just the, because like that's what I don't like about Live is that it's 48 players.
Right.
It's like, all right, like I don't need to see the same guys win and compete over because you've shrunk the field. Like the whole point of the PGA now, to me, from like a competitive advantage standpoint, is that there's 140 to 150 players are going out, and like that's why it's so hard to win on the PGA Tour. Like that's what sets you apart from Live. And now, to me, like you're coming towards Live, which you definitely have to from a money perspective, but I don't know if there's a better way to do it or not. I get why you have the top 60 players because that's where you're going to get the most money, and that's how you can pay out the most money, and the sponsors are going to be there because the best guys in the world are there, and people are going to watch. But that's what I dislike about it, because I like the tradition of the big tournament field and having to grind your way through it.
Yeah.
To get to there, and this is just to me too much. But
my other thought process on this would be, so if it's a 60 top players at the time of that event, whatever it might be, and if it's already 18 event, thing there, these guys are still having to play as many events because they have to still keep themselves inside the top 60.
correct.
So realistically what it is it's just, it's these 18 events, but it's probably pretty close to similar events that we've seen.
And also, let's not pretend like
there are going to be no cut events, I'm sure.
This hasn't been in the works for a while. And like, you can't tell me Tiger didn't know something like this was going to happen before he turned down $1 billion.
And he just went, oh, look at this, guys. We just
Yeah,
met
right.
twice, and here it is. No, I mean, there's reports saying that they've talked about this for a couple years
Like,
now.
if I'm going to have a stake in
Right.
the PGA, then I can say no to $1 billion.
Yes.
Like, that's
I think the
Absolutely.
biggest thing for me is the nonprofit status.
Yeah.
Relinquish that so then you can open it up for private investments. I think that's a huge thing because that's a complete change for the PGA Tour.
That just opens up the flexibility of down the road. And I think them not saying exactly what the style of events are also opens it up to the fact of maybe there's more match play. Maybe we can get some more team events.
Yep.
Because those are highlighted and everyone loves them. Like
Right.
those are people tune into those.
Right.
So if you can get more of those because of this, I mean,
Yeah, so
that's
like,
awesome. But
and that's what I would want to see in those top 60 events. If you're going to do 18 of them, I need at least half of them to be a unique format.
Yeah.
And because at that point, like to Ryan's point, you're playing your other 30 events in order to get yourself into the top 60. So like at least at that point, you're playing to like play in a fun format. Whether it be a scramble or whether it be a whatever type of format you want to call it, anything like
By the
Liv
way,
does or anything new.
scramble would be really cool.
Right.
Like
But
just
like
a
why
straight-on
just
scramble.
straight up scramble? Like,
whole
like we
tournament.
can relate to
That'd be
that,
so
but like
cool.
how good would these guys
How
be?
low would they
Like,
actually
right,
go?
How low can you go at, the toughest course in the world from the tips with a 4-man? Like
That would be
when there is literally no thought in your mind of how careful you need to be because I've got 3 other dudes that are the best in the world playing on my best ball
really
team.
the fourth guy's the only one who's
I think
like,
that'd be
fine,
awesome.
I'll tone it down,
Thanks.
but I'm going to the fairway.
Thanks, guys. You got to hit 3 or
Yeah, you get to hit-
3 wood. I had to hit 4 iron.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Thanks.
yes,
Next
so-
time, no.
right.
Right. Yeah, that would be cool.
But you're always pulling driver. You're always pulling 3 wood. Like
You're
you're just
yeah.
going for it.
Now, that tournament and the Live, I think, should do the same thing.
Right.
You do that, the world of us amateurs would love the hell
Right.
out of it.
And like I don't need more than 1 or 2 a year.
No,
but like
absolutely not.
just to see that once. It's like when Fowler and all of them go on vacation together, like JT.
yeah.
It's like we see them, having fun on their carts and
Teeing off on beer
like,
cans. And
no shoes, like
Right.
just to put like I don't think it would get that lax, but just to have 4 dudes on a team basically doing kind of what we're doing right now with the pro-am events,
Yeah.
but on a level of hey, let's put a squad out there. Let's
for a
do a
purse of 20 mil.
playground pick 'em with this
Yeah.
top 60.
Yeah.
How many teams is that? That's 15 teams.
Yeah.
So top 15 guys are captains, and we're playground picking, and we're having that. That's a live
televised.
event.
Oh,
In
absolutely.
itself.
Yeah.
And here we
That'd be sweet.
here we go.
See, here you go, PJ.
Because at
That's
that
what I'm
point, like, whether I get the 60th best guy in the world or the 15th, like on a best ball team, just doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like,
But speaking of relating to amateurs and different stuff like that, one of the most watched golf events this year or in these past couple of years has been The Match, where we've seen some of these amateur-esque golfers. Now, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, those guys that are playing all the time, like, are they amateur-esque? Maybe not, but
yeah, but they're
we
still
see amateur
they're
strokes.
still handicapped golfers.
Exactly. We see amateur strokes from them, and that's some of the biggest and most watched events of the year.
100%.
What's up, buddy? Is Mom here? Okay. Have a good practice.
Bye.
But like that being one of the most watched events of the year, just goes to show these scramble events, these different stuff like that. Like,
God, could you imagine?
And you can't tell me that, like, I'm at skins events.
Yeah.
You know, like all of these things that are usually now they're done for charity. And not to say that they can't be, but like throw them into these $20 million purse events and put 4 of the best dudes on the world out there to get a look at a 25-foot putt. And now I'm drafting the putter, I'm drafting the long hitter, I'm drafting the iron player.
Right.
Like these teams being put together. And sure, you're probably going to draft some of your buddies. But at the same point, like, you're also going to see some personalities that probably maybe don't want to be playing together.
Yeah.
But
And-
like are competing for.
And that would allow you the flexibility of, okay, maybe one of those tournaments, it's a fan vote to pick teams. Right? Like you could go so far with that. And I believe truly that's like part of what Tiger and Rory, because we aren't even talking about what else they're leading to, which we don't have much details on, about their tech expos during the middle of the week, which is, who knows, that'll be pretty cool. But I think that's what they're trying to do. Get more fans involved, get back to doing some, I don't want to say futuresque things. These guys, they do this outside of these tournaments. Like this is what they do. They go hang out with their boys and they play for, $100,000 putts or whatever. Right. We don't. We play for our new thing of $5 putts.
When you started talking about drafting these players, did
The
your mind
idea is-
instantly start to
so much
try and
fun.
draft a team? Like,
Right. Like,
were you instantly
who would
thinking
you
about
try to, like, it's like fantasy football. I mean, it's the fantasy golf, fantasy football, like, esque of like, who's my best 4?
like, okay, just think of this. I'd have to think of like a mid or like a longer or maybe just a hybrid player. Cam Young off your tee, Cam Smith putting, who was lights out for a lot of the year putting, and then you have like a Will Zalatoris for his approach shots, and then maybe a Spieth for somewhere around the green, scrambling. Like that team.
Yeah, but I mean, anybody inside the top 60,
It
I'm
don't
going to
matter.
list 4. Like,
I don't care. I'll
and
take it.
because the top 15 would have to be captains, like
It takes a lot
your best players still have to play with. So it's not going to be, because that's, to me, that's what went wrong with Liv, is that Liv started letting these guys.
I want all South African.
So like their best 4 guys are on one team basically on Liv right now, and it's just like, first of all, that like they're going to win everything or going to be competing, but also like you don't get to see any interaction between. So like when Rory has to draft the 48th ranked player, which I mean, it might be Russell Henley, or like whoever it is.
But funny,
Russell Henley's still really damn good at golf.
But
like,
funny when what Tiger gets in the top 60,
right?
And
that's where you get the Ryan Palmers.
And then you're like, oh wait,
right?
Like Tiger doesn't have to really swing driver at all, and he can just be irons. I get the best iron player ever, and someone was saying this, like, of course Tiger would do this. He's getting equity, and he can prolong his career. Yeah, duh.
Right.
And also, this is a legacy thing that he's always talked about.
Right.
He is probably saving the PGA, but also changing it, and this is his legacy. And probably developing it for Charlie. I would assume down the realm too.
Right. And
now that's a long ways, but not even that long anymore. But you know what I mean? Like this is all
this
building
goes
for
into the personality change that I think we've seen since Tiger's injury.
Yeah.
Of like realizing that as serious as he has been with golf and as tough at times he's been with and on the media, that like we've seen that full switch to fully open Tiger, and like realizing that 100% to your point, that like this is my chance to re-cement my legacy within the tour, which might be still a little tarnished overall. I mean, there's still the asterisks.
Correct.
Or the black eye.
Whatever.
Not really an asterisk.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing from that perspective. But, I mean, he definitely had a tough go at it for some years. But, like,
absolutely.
people still flock to Tiger Woods. And doing this is only going to, I mean,
it changes the trajectory of where golf is going right now.
To me, like, it takes me back to what I think Kobe Bryant would have done for women's and WNBA and NBA had he not died in the helicopter crash. Is that, like, I think we were going to, like, as much as people loved to hate Kobe was a great ambassador and was only going to do great things in all facets afterwards. And so, like, this is, like, if Tiger gets a chance to fully do that, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing.
You're taking the goats of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the difference of why I've never really been an MJ fan overall. Great player, obviously. But, like, Kobe, you know, RIP to him, and he just had a birthday, would have transcended this game to basketball to a degree we don't know, because he would have took that Mamba mentality to development of the game like he did for himself.
Right.
And I think Tiger is realizing I now have to do that
for PGA.
For the PGA. And
I can.
And I can. And I physically can. And oh, by the way, I'm still playing.
Right.
And I can still grind it out. I can still win a couple majors over the next 5-10 years. Like, that's where.
But do you think because of physical limitations that he's realizing he may not overcome, that he's taking that focus that he would put on that part of his game? Not that he's going to stop practicing hard or anything like that, but that he can kind of channel some of that frustration of inability into this portion of his life, right?
100%.
Like, I mean, that's what it's.
He can't practice his 12-hour days.
Right.
So he'll practice 4, and 8's going to be on this.
Right.
And that's going to help.
Just a transfer of focus.
Which will probably help his game, actually. But,
Right.
but all right. So we're done with golf. Let's get on to these other news.
Well, like, exciting golf news is exciting all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. How about this one? Huh? Alabama head coach Nick Saban is receiving an 8-year contract worth $94 million.
I don't think he wasn't getting enough in commercial, outside income coming in. He needed more from Alabama.
It's a lot of money for a college coach.
100%.
But
so, blast from the past. I happened to be watching last night. I flipped on the TV and Blindside was on.
Oh, okay.
In that movie, every prominent SEC coach
Was in it.
of the time had multiple screen time moments. And, like, I don't think watching it back when I couldn't tell you the last time I saw it.
Realizing that?
Because Saban's at LSU at that point, winning national championships. Like, Houston Nutt, Lou Holtz is at South Carolina, Tommy Tuberville's at
awesome.
Clemson.
Yeah.
And, like, those guys are all have multiple lines in which they walk in, talk to Michael Orr and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like I'm watching that, like, nil immediately went through my head when I saw it. Well, first of all, because they get accused of, having Michael Orr as a live-in because they were trying to get him to go to Ole Miss. But more so from, like, a coaching perspective of, like, how much do those coaches make for being in Blindside?
And the royalties they still get.
Right?
To this
Like,
day. Yeah.
So, like, it was just one of those things. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And then I saw this come up, and I'm like, perfect.
But big news. I mean, it's big news. It's big because the number's big, obviously deserving, but it's really the only college football news that we really had that's pressing, aside from the fact that it's week 0.
I mean, the people of the state of Alabama are more than willing to
Give
pay
their unborn children.
pay that money.
All right. So we'll skip this one, but we'll go to this one.
Oh, I'm so glad they.
Oh yeah, this one. It's
So-
actually
so
our
glad
thumbnail.
This came up.
All right.
I was infuriated about the fury.
So let's first, Acho. This is ridiculous, dangerous, and cowardly. Straight cowardly. Prayers up. I want you to watch this, everybody. We're gonna probably play it a couple of times. Slow it down.
Do we need to give background to this to like what's going on, or do you think people understand?
Oh, we will.
Okay.
I just want to. I
You
just want to
wanna
run it again. Like, look. Okay. Yep. Hits him in the knee. Goes low. Split zone. Normal play. Okay. So now we can get into it.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Because I mean, you've been blocked like this before.
Oh, a lot of times.
Right.
I've also blocked like that before.
Correct. You've been on both sides.
Yes. So in this realm, we've got essentially a split zone. You're going to have someone coming back across that they've got to cut down the backside end.
Meaning what?
What, coming down?
Cutting
Yeah,
down.
absolutely.
Like
Cut him.
what's the action that
Taking
you're
his legs out?
Yes, you're aiming for what? What's your aiming point?
Probably
Thighs?
Okay. Thighs, hip to thighs.
Right. And you're not going helmet first.
I'm not going helmet first.
Going
hip to
shoulder
thighs,
first, but you're taught to roll.
and then I'm going to roll.
Roll through.
Right.
Yep.
So if we take this through, he sees him coming, right? This is the part right here where as a defender, I know he made a mistake. And I will explain why. And I can't slow-mo it because we're not that fancy.
Right.
He sees him and he stops his feet.
Correct.
Yeah.
He stops his feet.
Yeah.
And turns sideways
And turns sideways and doesn't even try to get low.
and exposes his leg.
And yes, and plants his leg. I mean, there's so much that's
Thank
wrong
you.
there. From an offense perspective, he stuttered because he stuttered.
The offensive guy fell down in that play.
Yeah. And then it just so happened when he hit his shoulder, he slid down. What usually happens is this guy's either going to run through, jump over, put your hands on, or he's going to, what kind of a wrestling technique?
You just basically down block, sprawl, get around him.
Yes.
Yeah.
When someone shoots for your legs, guess what? Yeah, I'm going to sprawl.
You try not to fall down.
You're not getting your knee hit like this. And so I've posted about it. I've talked about it. I've been livid about it because there's big names, huge names. Acho being one, being a defensive player.
Right.
RG3. There's been so many people. Rich Eisen has been calling them out for make sure he gets fined. He gets kicked out. This is very dirty. This is not a dirty play. And the NFL came out today and said, yeah, no fine because that's legal and clean.
Also, the guy, like, he has no momentum. Like, we're talking about, like, plays that get fined in the NFL are guys going full speed, targeting head and shoulders, or targeting knees of quarterbacks, blindside, like, didn't see it coming, whatever. This guy literally, I mean, he might as well have tripped, fell down, and crawled to this dude's knee. Like, the defensive player could not have played that any worse.
So
Really could not have.
So if I'm Thibodeau, just looking at this right now, you have time. If you have time to break down and he's square to him up front, and then he turns his body.
Correct.
Like if you have time to do that, look at where the ball carrier goes. This guy broke down so much that I could have hit a rip move
100%.
or a swim move straight to that ball carrier and probably had a tackle for loss.
Because here's the
Or
thing.
dove? I don't care.
Here's the thing.
That's not what you do.
From a defensive perspective, Thibodeau is in contain right here.
Correct.
So there's a guy coming in motion, and basically Thibodeau is in charge of not letting the guy who is coming in motion get the
Right here.
reverse. That guy, if that guy has a reverse, Thibodeau needs to keep him inside.
Correct.
What Thibodeau does, he does not, first of all, he doesn't do his job.
Correct.
Second of all, he does whatever he's doing. It reminds me of when you have a young kid who's just starting to play catcher in baseball, and they have all of the gear right here in front of them, right?
Yeah.
And what do when the ball bounces in the dirt? The ball hits him in the side, in the back of the head, and you're like, yo, Johnny.
You have
like,
protection.
This is your protection. Like,
Right.
First of all, be aggressive, get on your knees, let the ball hit your padding.
Yeah.
He exposes the one part of your body that every NFL player wants to
to
protect. Offense, defense, special teams, doesn't matter. Your knees are your number one asset. And watch what he does with his right leg. He says, here, sir. He literally gives it to him.
Literally is leading.
He literally gives it. It's the first thing that he gives to the offensive player.
Now I don't. What you said about contain, he better have contain, but right here before the play starts, here, his eyes are here.
Which
He's
is
already,
the wrong
he's already
spot.
crashing and not getting depth.
There's a lot of reasons that you should.
Why would his eyes be there?
I have no clue.
Okay,
because
thank you.
you're scared.
Thank you.
Actually, that's the only reason you would care about that, because right now the ball's here. You don't know if he's faking this handoff to the running back or going to then just
Because you have
switch
one of
hands.
two jobs. It's either to tackle the running back or tackle the guy that would be on the end around. That's Thibodeau.
Yeah.
And he can't do either one of those
From that position.
from right here.
Well, for a couple reasons. One, because his position. Two, his eyes are on the blocker.
Correct.
Ball has not been. Now, ball is there. First of all, I believe he could have just made the play if you were giving up and just going at him. But now, what? Look at this. They're both in a very good, like, athletic position right here.
Right,
except
but not
for the fact that
except for where the ball is.
Except for we're not playing football anymore.
Right.
We're just athletics.
Are we doing a squat test?
And then I just don't. His hands didn't get
If
on
anything,
him. No.
Thibodeau should be fined
Yeah, absolutely.
for bad football.
For just not good defensive football.
I'm sorry.
For being scared. I don't know what it is. This
That
to
was
me is
timid.
timid.
Yeah.
If you play timid in any sport,
At one
specifically
point,
football,
this was the number 1 overall pick.
I just don't know what that was. Has it ever happened to him before?
I mean, that looks like when I'm in the wave pool and like I'm taking like a wave to the chest, and then all of a sudden, you know, like I'm not taking it to
Turning
the chest.
sideways, I'm
like,
cutting
turning
through it.
sideways and I like duck through it. Like, oh, please don't hurt. Like I'm going under the wave now instead of like taking on the contact. Like
That's what that
what
was.
can I do to be soft as possible?
Now, I'm glad he didn't tear his ACL.
Yeah,
I
3 to
think it
4
was-
weeks
Yeah,
is what the
sprained knee, basically.
Yeah.
Sprained MCL, I believe. But you're going to learn from that. Either you do or you don't, but that, everything blowing up, that is not a dirty play.
right. But that's the last thing that we would like. You can't have Thibodeau coming away going, I did what I was supposed to do, and that was just a dirty play. And if that's his mindset,
Then
because of
He's a-
everything that's gone on,
he's ruined as a player.
Well, so
Right.
He's
look
gonna
at
play
this.
timid forever.
This is the step right here, and you have it paused perfectly when we were
I did
talking
not-
about when we were
I
talking
did that
about
on purpose.
when we were talking about contain.
This is
He's
why-
coming back upfield. He's already made his decision that this guy on that reverse isn't getting the ball.
That's why
if
I
that
think-
guy gets the reverse,
that's when he starts
that's-
looking down the line of
Now,
scrimmage
that's
at the
15
wall.
yards.
This is why I think there's got to be another force player just because of this. Or he just blew the assignment.
But even if
I
there
believe.
is,
He's still
again,
not
the
doing it
point
right.
is he's looking down the line of scrimmage at the blocker,
Yeah.
which
And
which
this has not
is
been declared.
meaningless for anything that he's going to do that's
how many
remotely
steps?
possible.
How many steps away
on
from the
play.
quarterback is he if he just goes straight towards?
Oh,
3.
no. Yeah, but he's got, I mean,
Like he can't.
he
no.
can't get there.
Right.
The only thing he could have done is shot hard, but you're just guessing at that point. Because the ball's not declared. Again, he can't see the ball. Well, he's not
No, but
looking.
he does nothing aggressive here.
He's not looking at the ball, but he can't. The ball is not. You can't see it. It's not.
No,
declared.
he's not looking at the ball. He's looking at this guy
He's
coming.
now
I don't want to
declared.
get hit.
He would have been best off on this play to never come out of his stance.
He could. Yeah, or went after the quarterback or the reverse.
No, but I'm just saying, like, from what he did, like that guy didn't need blocked. Like he wasn't ever gonna tackle the running back if that guy wasn't there.
The 80 is it 81 in that like that tight end or whoever is that they could have just
Could have
stopped.
stood straight up
just-
and down.
What is it?
He
What is
could've
it like?
just
Field goal,
bypassed him.
field goal block in 5th and 6th grade tackle football, where you had to put your hands up like this and they can't touch you. Like
Yes.
that's what he could have done.
Correct.
And Thibodeau doesn't make that play.
And I think a lot of the, like, somewhat in defense of all of these guys saying it's a dirty play, dangerous. Like the part that I don't like is like I can agree with the dangerous, just because any time that I'm going to cut somebody,
It's
there's going to
dangerous.
be potential for danger.
100%.
The ridiculous and cowardly is where I have a problem with all of the tweets is that they're calling this guy a dirty player,
for doing his job.
and I wouldn't even say that he didn't even really deliver
Look at
that.
this.
That's not even a great cut block.
No, he had no momentum.
He just fell
look,
down.
Look at his angle right now. He's not going after a knee on purpose.
No.
Not at all.
You can't stop and then fall down.
Thibodeau might
and
get
be-
a pretty bad Charlie horse if he's still going towards him with momentum, everything.
It was just that's a timid play. Just timid. That's why you don't play timid.
And
play
like,
aggressive.
When you
make
go
the
that slow, that's how your foot gets stuck under your leg because you're not going fast enough for your feet to move out from under you.
So
Like,
I was always taught, and I wasn't playing at any level near what you guys were, but the slower you go, the more likely you are to get hurt. Like if you go balls to the wall, you might sting a little bit. You might be sore, but you're less likely to get hurt
it's the
because
difference
you're just
between
playing hard.
hurt and injured.
Yeah.
You're a lot more likely to get injured when you play slow. Obviously, more likely to get hurt,
Correct.
but there's a big difference.
Prime
I can
example.
play hurt. I can't play injured.
Okay. We're done. We're done here.
Soft.
Now let's get to the thing that blew up. Oh no, I closed out.
You exited the wrong one.
Oh no, we'll get to it. Don't worry. I saved it in messages. You guys need to start doing this. Just share the tweet if you want to do it. We'll do it.
This gives me flashbacks.
Play the one in Oklahoma.
No, I feel like that was FW. I don't know how I don't know. But this one's hilarious. First of all, I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever thought about doing it. No, right? And this guy is now viral. The world knows it. I'm pretty sure it's over 20 million.
This is Bartman-esque.
What he is doing is he put a straw through to make a glizzy straw, also known as a hot dog straw, with his beer. By the way, salt and beer goes well together. Like this, he is a foodie. It makes sense and it works. Would never have thought about this, but everyone is blowing up.
Yeah,
This might be the new turn dog, boys.
But like
This might be the new turn dog.
But at the ballpark,
At the ballpark.
It's like the girl. Do you guys remember the girl dipping
the
her
real
chicken
question
strip
is-
into her soda a couple years back and getting roasted all over the internet?
this isn't like this is next level.
Right.
This is-
That's exactly where my mind
Simply
went.
from form of hot dog, because you're in public.
We go from Twizzler. This is the 21-year-old version of the Twizzler straw.
First of all, does this guy drink beer with a straw if he doesn't have a hot dog?
No.
I want to ask. He's going to get interviewed, by the way. I mean, like, whoever. By the way, got some good kicks in it too. But
This
like,
guy needs to be making money off of this.
yeah, we better go patent whatever call it whatever. It's yours now.
Is
Because
this at Yankee Stadium?
I mean, it's just a dog straw, right? Like that's what they call it.
dog straw.
Like,
what-
don't
well,
try
not-
to, like,
they're
don't try to
call-
be
they're
smart
calling
with
hot
it.
dogs glizzy now, so maybe glizzy straw. I don't know.
What?
Don't ask me. It's the new thing. I don't-
Glizzy?
I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
no.
I'm too old.
That's
for
what the
it.
kids are saying?
That's what the kids are calling hot dogs.
So like my kid today for his first day of school had a hot dog, so he ate some glizzy, or he ate. Is that with
a
a bun?
glizzy. A glizzy. Yeah.
Well, you're the one that brought it up. I can ask the
Because
questions.
that's what's been in social media. I have no clue.
Dudes eating glizzy,
Just drinking a glizzy.
Drinking-
Drinking a
sucking.
beer.
on
Can
a
I
glizzy.
can I critique his form?
Not a good idea.
Can I
But that's
critique
what
his
he's
form
doing.
a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I didn't. So he goes both ends.
Why wouldn't you just go all the way through?
Why wouldn't you just push that sucker
Because
all the way
the
through like
you would blow the end of the hot dog out.
Oh, because it might not.
So like
It
you
might not go
push
through.
something all the way through that end does this instead of like
Correct.
the front end
Yeah.
creating the small hole.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want the one end of the hot dog to be blown out, so he's got to create the same hole. It's like
However, I probably would want the one end because it would be a bigger hole to at the bottom.
just take a little bite at the.
that's fine. I mean,
That's your
but
argument.
like
It's
the
clean.
same. It's the same idea as like when you're cutting a cigar.
Yeah.
Like you don't want the end that you're smoking out of to be like as big as
Just
the
mangled.
butt end. Like,
I
That's
just.
great. It's great, guys.
so like,
happy for
so
that
you guys
guy.
are good. You're good with that.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't have any problem with that. None. Zilch.
You don't think that the warmth of the hot dog as you're sucking the beer through makes the beer gross?
I haven't drank beer in like a long time. However, that being said,
If you
no,
want a
because I would
beer,
drink
you
it
want
Cool, I
fast.
feel
ice
like you.
cold
Cool,
beer.
I
would
feel like
drink it
you do it
fast
straight.
enough.
Do it straight out of the fridge. You do it straight out of the fridge. You get your Oscar Mayer or your
Yeah, but
whatever
I want
it is.
the bun. I want the relish. I want the
Oh,
mustard.
But agreed. But think of it. It's more like
It's a poor man's Bloody Mary. Is what it is.
Yeah. Yep. It's
The
exactly
beef,
what it is.
That's
the
a
beef
beer.
stick. No, but the
Put
beef
a
stick
put a
straws.
hot dog in a Bloody Mary, and yes, 1,000.
So why don't you put a hot dog?
And
in
I
there?
will use beef
What
stick.
if you do a
can
bloody?
use a beef
What if you do a
stick.
bloody beer?
Okay, that's the thing. The hot
Yes, hey, I don't mind.
the
that.
hot dog is still warm. That's my problem. Is
Is
the
it, though?
warmth of the hot dog?
Was it though?
Do you think it was a cold hot dog? It wasn't a raw hot dog.
No. But it
No.
might not have been.
No, but like
super
I
hot and
want.
fresh. I don't know.
First of all, I don't want to drink a beer with a straw.
No, I mean let's start there. Yes. However, that's what it is.
But I do want to eat a
Poor
hot
man's
dog. I
blood.
do want to eat a hot dog and drink an ice cold beer. I just
Because of
want them
those
to be
reasons.
mutually exclusive.
You getting the same effect.
no.
Hey,
Just because they're all going to the same place, don't
Hey, I'm
mean
just
the way
saying,
they get there
same
doesn't
effect.
matter.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what Mama Carrie used to say. You like hamburger, you like cheese, you like noodles, then you like Hamburger Helper. And I didn't like Hamburger Helper.
I mean, we do tell our kids that, and I am a like. Do you guys like your food to touch on a plate?
I can.
I don't
it's
care.
fine.
Right, and
Really don't
there's a lot of people that are
Oh,
very
absolutely.
much
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this can't touch this, and I'm like, you know what? This, and this are probably really good together.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
We're
it.
You ever had a famous bowl?
And so exactly.
Corn, gravy,
Yeah,
vegetables,
exactly.
and
It's all-
chicken.
it's
Yeah,
all-
come on.
It's the best of all the worlds. So like I have no problems with any of those things. My specific problem is not even the hot dog as a straw. It's that the hot dog would warm up my beer. I think that's my issue.
I think you guys should try it next time.
Because if I'm paying $12 for a beer,
yeah, I mean,
you better bet your ass that it's gonna be a cold beer that I'm gonna be
I mean,
drinking.
you're probably not wrong there.
Like,
You're not wrong there. But I think it's I think it's
because guess what? He paid for the hot dog
But
and he paid
okay,
for
so
the beer and he took the hot dog out of the bun.
That's a high
So
quality
warm,
dog, right?
maybe.
That's a high quality dog, right?
It's not- no.
But like more often than not, when it's a decently quality dog, the skin isn't what's warm; it's the internal.
Yeah, where you're
portion.
sucking the beer from because he just cut a hole in the hot dog and the beer is running
it would only
literally right up
But it
against
wouldn't warm up the beer that much. Is what I'm saying.
It wouldn't last that long. It would get cold pretty quick. I don't know. Maybe you guys should try it.
Volume to
I'm just saying,
density
on air
ratio.
next week.
On air next week.
I mean, I'm not willing to try it. It's not going to be so disgusting you can't do it. It's just going to be like, what the hell are you
Yeah,
doing?
I mean,
like that guy took the time to do it.
I'll go get some
and he
roller
paid
dogs.
for a hot dog to do
So
it.
he's clearly done this.
I'll
He
go get
paid
some
for
roller
a
dogs
straw.
from either Get and Go or Hy-Vee. Like I'll go get a couple roller dogs and
Yeah, we can do it next week.
yeah.
I'm 100%.
Why not?
We're in.
All right,
We're in.
book it.
Let's go.
Heard it here
On that
first.
note, why don't we go to commercial? We'll come back and it's college football time. College football time. I want to push the button, but I'll get in trouble.
Even if it's less than 3 seconds.
But we're gonna do it. I don't give a
Hey, let's stop it. There we go. Nice.
You guys know what that is.
Sneak peek.
Till next time. Welcome. Our fireside chat. This one's gonna be hot. A couple of topics will be overall trust in a relationship between your planner and yourself.
It's our job to figure out what's in the best interest for you.
We have to start this thing early.
How do I play this game patient enough to see this trade turn to fruition?
Real estate in general can have a lot of tax benefits to you.
Listen and subscribe to the No BS Wealth podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
week. That's a bummer. Oh, my drink. Son of a bitch. Can you grab my drink, please? It's poured on the cart. No, it's already poured. Oh no, I did this in Tori. Yeah. Also, who's got the shitty shot?
I don't know who.
I'm gonna
guys
go
took
back.
this week.
I know because we didn't.
I took Fitzpatrick.
I took Rom.
Yeah, I mean you.
Okay,
Took
so
Rom.
we're
We're
good.
good.
We're
Man,
good.
he had a chance to put some pressure
I
on
have it,
early.
and
He
then
went
you
birdie
have-
birdie on Sunday and then missed a
You would have had it from
4-footer.
last week, I think.
Oh, yeah. You did have
Cantley?
No, Cantley. Not with Cantley. I'll go look. How about that,
Yeah, I didn't-
fellas?
I didn't have it for Cantley, I don't believe.
It wasn't me.
Or no, was it
Cam
Spieth?
Smith.
I had Spieth.
No,
I
you
didn't
had
have
Cantley.
Spieth. I had Cantley.
Yep. You definitely got it.
I got it for Cantley.
Uh huh.
Okay.
All right.
What are they in here? Really, Steve?
I was off like my headphones weren't on. I didn't feel like we were.
I think they're
live.
up top, Ryan.
Oh, because we
Who
weren't.
did you guys have the week before?
I'll tell you. Hold up. I had Cam Smith, finished 13th, and he had Hovland, who finished 20th.
What did Cantley finish?
He was 2 under. Hovland was 8, and Smith was 13.
That's right. He was so terrible the week before.
57th. He was basically last.
Doo doo. Wait.
Oh,
Why does this feel?
I saw a
sticky?
strawberry cheesecake one.
Oh,
I almost grabbed it, but I realized we haven't.
Hey.
we haven't had our bets.
This might be
We've
a
been-
decent shot.
Deep Eddies?
Yeah.
We have Deep Eddies in there? Deep Eddies is delicious.
oh, I forgot these are the ones I got a couple weeks ago.
Deep Eddies is just delicious. Like, without a doubt.
That's my best good stuff.
That's my best good stuff. Shout out Deep Eddies.
The Grinch. What a great movie.
My
best
boys,
good stuff.
my boys quote it, love it. Croy does this. He does hate, double hate, loathe entirely. Does it all the time. It's fucking hilarious.
I have butterscotch on the rocks.
I'm pretty sure shitty shots are supposed to be shot. Smell. I mean, it smells fantastic. A little bumbu in there.
Right?
Might be our fall
some
drink.
whiskey in there. But like, look how syrupy it is.
Were you here the week that I was talking about my buddy drinking bamboo?
No,
Oh.
that was last week.
Yeah, last week. I showed up. We just went and grilled out with some friends. Buddy has just a bottle of bamboo on the table. I'm like, heck yeah, I know that stuff. That stuff's really good.
I like that stuff.
He goes, have you ever had it with mango Pepsi? And I said, no, I typically just drink it straight because it tastes like bananas. And he goes, try this. I'm not kidding. If you wanted to mix it, that's what you mix it with.
First of all,
It's fantastic.
I would have had
don't
to
mix it.
heard of mango Pepsi
Yeah, absolutely.
to start.
To even have that as an idea, I've never heard of mango Pepsi.
Neither have I.
Yeah, I didn't even know. It was
Until
That's a thing.
I guess I don't know.
Clearly.
But he
Of
had
all
it,
the Pepsi flavors, we're going like there's a mango just hanging out there.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I think he actually looked up like what mixes well with this because he solely bought bamboo because of the bottle. Which
I mean-
that makes
But
sense.
I mean,
To be fair, that's
I'm
how we
starting to
started it.
see it more and more in bars. Like Copper Creek carries it now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's because of us. I mean, of our show and stuff.
clearly.
I had
Sponsors
never
bamboo.
heard it before when I just saw it, and I was like, ooh,
Sponsors
that's a
bamboo.
Yeah, come on, bamboo.
It's like slug bug. Once you see one, you see a million of them, and then it's just people punching each other.
All right, let's go. It's college football season,
Week 0.
week 0.
I better cheers.
I mean, it's good. D Betty's is just delicious.
Would you have Ruby Red?
That's probably, I think, one of the worst ones, but
Yeah, because I'm not.
Just because it's like more bitter.
yeah, that's just not a grapefruit person.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not bad.
Week 0.
Week 0, fellas. Week 0 is upon us. College football starts, and it just so happens to start from a state that I'm from. Not where the game's played.
I was gonna
Because
say,
the game
what are
is
you
not
talking about?
played in Nebraska. It's not played.
Your
in-
favorite team?
No. Drake's my favorite team. Let's be real.
Second favorite team?
Second favorite team is probably Florida State. I grew up a Husker. I'm a fan. I support.
Okay.
but I don't bleed red. Like, we live in Iowa, and there's slight rivalry.
Yeah, there's a lot of Husker fans.
A lot of trash talking, and I don't really see it. Also, I'm a realist. Like, I don't know if you guys caught that, but like, they have not been good. I'm not gonna say that. Were you?
Good. I mean, you're younger than me, but like, do you remember how amazing Tommy Frazier was?
Absolutely.
That would be like your first sports hero. That guy was unfreaking real.
Absolutely.
National championship. I mean, like
jersey.
you remember?
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't
the run
because
everything.
He's one of the first collegiate players that that's why I ask.
Yeah.
Legitimately remember, like from just a jaw drop perspective, Jordan at an early age. I mean, Tommy Frazier is a collegiate athlete. I mean, honestly, like, I don't really remember any other collegiate athletes like at that young of an age and just like mesmerizing game changers.
Right. He was.
And he was. Like the run that he had down the sidelines.
Insane.
Like that's a play that like still, I mean, it's
all you have to
say,
me like
say the run, right? And it's just like, it's like the Vince Young scramble in the USC national championship. Like there's probably, I don't know, if I flip through my head, like 5 collegiate, like, this moment. And you're just like Frazier is one of those moments for me. So I was just curious from that.
So obviously growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s in Omaha, Nebraska,
right?
You can't avoid. Nobody could have, right? Because they were the
dynastic.
Best, yeah, like for a decade and a half, or
all the way through Eric Crouch.
Yeah. So, but they're playing this week against another Big Ten team,
the Wildcats,
in Northwestern Wildcats, and they are playing in Ireland. I didn't learn that last week, by the way. I did not know that.
I learned that yesterday.
Do you know he just learned that today? Significance have zero clue. Besides that, they're starting to do more American international football stuff. But
international footy.
Yeah.
Aviva Stadium, Dublin, Ireland.
100% soccer stadium. Apologize.
Does that benefit either team?
I don't know, really.
Like Northwestern because they're smarter?
I would say it would benefit Nebraska more because Nebraska fans are going to travel better than Northwestern.
Yeah, but I mean, did fan base in Ireland even matter?
I mean, it always matters home and away, like loud, not loud. Like that always matters, factors in. I don't know the size of the stadium, so I don't know if it's bigger or smaller, which would deter any of that.
Right. Are they playing in a soccer stadium or are they playing in like a university stadium type of thing?
Obviously didn't do as much research and all that stuff because that's not what I do.
Right.
But no, I don't know. I don't know that. I do know that Nebraska has a new quarterback because Martinez said, "Peace out. I've done enough."
That was the best thing that's happened for you.
Absolutely.
They need new blood.
They need new blood. He needed a new situation for himself personally. It's fair. I don't even know where he went. So they've got a quarterback situation. I say situation. That is, he played last year a little bit. That's coming back, and he will turn the ball over less than Martinez, which is a good thing. Defense was fairly good last year, actually. That's what kept them in most of these games until late, and then they had so many penalties, so many bad penalties, ridiculous amount of bad penalties that they'll have to overcome without a doubt.
The over-under number in this game is what is completely baffling to me. No one expects there to be any defense played in this game, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why two teams who are fairly anemic over the last 5 years would all of a sudden travel halfway across the world
and all of a sudden
be good on offense when they're notoriously better. Specifically Northwestern, but even Nebraska last year and Northwestern being anemic on offense, all of a sudden have an offensive
I
think part of that is last year Nebraska beat them 56-7.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
So that obviously is going to have some skin in that game.
Right.
So 56-7, and they're anticipating Nebraska to be better than what they were last year. So if they're saying, okay, if Nebraska can score 40 and Northwestern can get 2 touchdowns this year instead of 1.
Okay.
Guys, there was only
It's a 14-point spread.
There's only one turnover. By
They're
Northwestern
expecting Nebraska
to do.
I mean, they're
repeat
2
that.
touchdown
They're 2 touchdown
favorites.
Right.
I struggle to see that
13.5
with
on
Nebraska
FanDuel.
having a new I mean, maybe their new quarterback is
Well, from what I've read,
maybe.
Do you know that?
he just fits Scott Frost more than Martinez fits Scott Frost. He's a more molded quarterback towards Scott Frost's system.
Okay.
And defensively, obviously,
Martinez went
just
to Kansas State, by the way. I did look that
That
up.
was
Okay,
just the
State,
number
that's right.
that jumped out to me right away was that
absolutely.
number started with a 5.
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't know what else to say. That's what I know about Nebraska.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's much else. That's not the great part about that game is
Are
it's
you on
the
FanDuel?
the first part, or that it's the first game of college football. Besides that, I can't say anything. That
Kickoff's
That's the only
11:30.
one
11:30 on Saturday. Next game's not till 3. So like that game is standalone in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it.
Oh, absolutely. And
I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed
I don't know
eyeballs.
if my eyeballs will be on it. I have soccer to watch. I might be one of these.
And okay,
Yeah, go
this might be
Lincoln.
bad
I'll be
on
golfing,
me.
so
This might be bad on me, but does
Yeah, but I don't know.
Game Day go to Ireland with them?
I have no idea.
I don't know
I
where
would
Game Day is.
assume that is
It's-
ESPN broadcasting this game.
By the way, I just want you to know the Dodgers lost me money last night because they
Because I got skunked for the
Spanked.
first time at home.
Yeah. I was on DraftKings for a reason, not because of my past bets. I was there to look at the lines.
Yeah.
Whoopsies. It's week 0, okay?
Week 0.
We're still getting to the flow.
Opens up.
College football.
Week 1.
By the way,
Sorry.
the spread has moved 4 points. It was at 9 originally. Now we're at 13 at DraftKings.
I just don't. I don't know, nor do I really want to know
50
any more about
points?
those two teams. But that's what they've got to be anticipating is a Nebraska blowout. I didn't realize Nebraska beat them 56-7 last year. So
Yeah, but that's only 63 points.
I mean that's 2
We're saying
touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. Like that's only 2 touchdowns more.
But I mean, to Ryan's point, like 48-14 gets it done.
I just don't. I don't.
40 to 40. Like they.
I don't.
Well, 40-14 doesn't get it done.
Conference.
Or yeah,
it
excuse
does.
me, 40-14 gets it done. 38-14 gets it done.
Yes. But like you usually don't score that much against in the first game when you're not playing a cupcake.
Or when you're in
And you're on
Ireland.
You're in Ireland, so that means they're probably leaving tomorrow. Maybe they're there all week.
I would say
debatably.
I would guess they're gone already.
They should
just
be.
to get used to the time change.
Yeah, I don't. That's a lot of points to me. That's just a lot of points. It's a Big Ten game. A lot
Especially
of points.
since most of the
We have no idea.
I don't think any of college schools are in. So like they wouldn't be avoiding leaving early
Yeah,
because
true,
of classes or
true.
anything like that. So
They
my
probably
guess
went
is
over
they
as
should
part of
have
camp.
left.
They're-
Yeah.
They're in.
They're there. Meaning that they're in. We're just talking like, are they in Ireland yet?
Oh. No.
Because school starts probably.
It's already started.
Well, it
some
depends.
places.
I don't think for colleges.
Iowa State started this week.
Idiots.
Lamos.
Over at Chambers.
All right. So, bets wise, what do you guys got?
I don't know. So I do look at this and I see
'Cause then-
Nebraska scored 22 in their home opener last year against Illinois, even though they lost, and then Northwestern scored 21 against a decent Michigan State team last year. So there's
43.
43 right there against. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what I got.
It's not easy.
No, I think I know what I got though.
Go.
money line spread.
Well, do you want to explain what we do?
Yeah.
again?
So this is season 2. It's been a long. It's been a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah. It's week 0. We're fine.
So what we're gonna do week to week, college football right now, but college football and NFL once NFL starts up, we're gonna pick a couple different games this week just because Northwestern Nebraska is the best game, and it's the first game. You got to talk about that. It's in Ireland. It's got a lot of hype around it. In that sense, what we do is we pick the money line. So for those of you who don't know money line, that is straight up who's going to win this game. Is Nebraska going to beat Northwestern? Is Northwestern going to beat Nebraska? Next, we're going to pick the spread. The spread is, as it currently sits on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, is Nebraska's 13.5-point favorites, a.k.a. two touchdown favorites.
On FanDuel. 13
on FanDuel, yep.
On DraftKings.
13 on DraftKings, okay.
Get the hook.
And then total is the total points scored between both teams for the game. So as we mentioned earlier, Cole was very surprised that this started with a 5. On FanDuel, it's at 50.5.
And DraftKings is 49.5.
Okay. So
that
what
point
are
matters actually.
100%.
For sure. Huge implications here. Last year we did basically go strictly off of FanDuel. This year, one thing that we noticed was the discrepancies throughout golf. So do your research, pick your odds. I think that was a common theme is there's so much discrepancy from book to book. If I'm going to take one bet one place, I might as well go see if I can get better odds on another place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So, for example, it's minus 105. The money has moved towards the under on the total here.
For
Minus 115 is the under.
for FanDuel,
Yep, for FanDuel.
they're even across the board, spread and total for DraftKings.
So that 1 point, just like you guys mentioned, matters.
Oh, it matters.
People saw this and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, it might be at 50, so I'm gonna take more points in this place and get just as good odds."
Yeah, because the money's also moved towards Northwestern, but that's because of the line moved 4 points.
I don't see Nebraska scoring more than 35 because of the unknown of the offense.
And I think
I don't know.
we probably all lock on this. I'm taking Nebraska money line. I mean, that's easy for me.
I would agree.
Cole.
I agree. I think Nebraska, because I think Nebraska starts fine this year, and then I
It'll
think
paddles it away.
I mean,
They-
I think they
It's end of
more.
Scott Frost era.
I think they more than limp home. No, I think they're committed to
Okay.
him for more than this year.
So I'm taking Nebraska. I'm going with history repeats itself, and Nebraska wins by more than 2 touchdowns. So I'm taking Nebraska in the spread as well.
Wow. What was the spread over there?
13.5.
It's 13 over here.
So we'll leave it at 13.5 because the hook
The hook's
allows
better.
easier to score.
Yeah. I'll take the over on that.
Which,
What?
surprisingly enough,
What? It's not a total line. It's just a spread line, bud.
The over of what?
13.5.
You mean Nebraska's going to win by more than 13.5?
Yeah.
You pick Nebraska as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you had just moved on to the over.
Oh.
I'm like, I'll take the over. I'm like, wait a second.
Wait a-
Also, Stoy just took an over? What? Yeah, right.
What's happening?
My synapses were going crazy. Northwestern.
that's who you got.
I mean, Nebraska wins this one. They're going to go 3-0 going into a
Yeah.
home game against Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
You got
That
Nebraska.
sets up very well.
Man.
Also, everybody, Steve will make his picks. They'll be in our sheet. We'll be able to recap with him and do our reviews. But Steve had a tornado, as he calls it, at work today, so he wasn't
Yes.
able to attend
Not
tonight.
a hurricane, not a derecho,
Not a hailstorm.
not a hailstorm, but a tornado. Tornadic event.
Do we have the Jeopardy theme song waiting for Cole here?
We can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, just
Do, 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 do.
I don't even know.
It's different.
like,
I'm beatboxing.
I've
underneath.
got no,
I
I've
love
got
it. It's
no
different.
point of reference. This game being
Tone was off.
in Ireland completely changes the complexion for me, and maybe I'm overlooking that.
It's also the
just,
first game of the season
yeah, right. First game, but like, there's no comfortability
ever.
for either team, and so like, that screams to me closer game than it should be. So I'll take Nebraska to find a way to win, Northwestern to cover, and I'm going to be on the under. So I'll just start there.
Are we sticking with FanDuel on that 50 and a half?
Yep.
Then yeah, give me the under.
You'd be on the over if it was 49.5.
I would be questioning more things.
I think I'm just gonna be devil's advocate here. I like seeing.
I mean, that fits your.
It does. It does, but it also I just think. This is my one reservation is they expect Nebraska to be better or maybe more prolific on offense if it fits Scott Frost better, because UCF when Scott Frost was there was scoring a lot.
I actually don't like that 13 and a half.
And the other,
I like
the one reservation I have is because I think Nebraska's defense and Northwestern just couldn't score last year. So Nebraska's defense is good enough to maybe not let up 2 scores. That's my only thing. If Nebraska doesn't let up 2 scores, I don't see it going over. But
That's what I'm saying. Like I have Northwestern max maybe 17 points.
if they get to 17, it's going to be over 60. Okay, that's not a side bet.
I don't.
Cole, I saw you licking your chops.
Because I don't have
who's
Nebraska.
not making a side bet on this game? This guy.
I don't have Nebraska going over 35 really. So that's where like those are
Yeah.
like top ends for me.
Yep,
That's why.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's what's
But 35-14, 49. I mean,
that's
it's
where
right
actually that's a
there.
score I see.
Yeah.
Is it what?
35-14.
There you go.
But so
That's under,
for our
under.
picks, guys, we
And a
got
cover.
That's where
we
I'm
got
at.
Nebraska across the board for us 3, at least on our money line. Spread. Stoy and I both took Nebraska to cover the 13.5 points. Cole took Northwestern. Stoy took the under. Cole took the under. I took the over. 13.5 is one of those weird, kind of a weird number there. Like it could be a touchdown and 2 field goals for Nebraska. Like that 13.
Oh,
is
it'll be
just there.
13. It 100% it'll be 13. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll be okay. We'll all survive.
Vicky Valancourt. It's what's gonna be.
No, it's what it's going to be.
So the next games. So here's the lineup for the week, anyways. So week 0, Northwestern Nebraska that we talked about. Wyoming, Illinois. Illinois opening at 10-point favorites, from what I can see right now. 10.5 point on FanDuel. Vanderbilt at Hawaii. Vanderbilt is 6.5 point favorites.
Really based upon betting, the best game next is North Texas and UTEP.
Correct.
Vanderbilt jumped up to 8.5 point favorites.
Vanderbilt, Hawaii.
Yep. And then you got UConn at Utah State, which should be a complete blowout because Utah State's a solid squad. Charlotte at FAU. North Texas, UTEP, again, just like you mentioned, and Nevada at New Mexico State. So here's one line that is weird to me, and I'll have to look at it. Nevada, New Mexico State. Like it's at 8.5. It was at 9 on here, and now it's at 8.5 on FanDuel. Nevada was an 8-win team last year. New Mexico State had.
Is that what we're going with?
I'm just this line is weird to me because New Mexico State was a 2-10 team and Nevada was an 8-win team, and they're only 8.5 point favorites.
9 in DraftKings.
I think I saw Steve mention that somewhere. He liked New Mexico State.
Let me pull up his podcast rundown here. He said top 3 picks. He likes this New Mexico State. He likes to cover the spread. He likes Hawaii to cover the spread, it looks like, and he likes Northwestern to cover the spread.
What is? Oh, I was looking at his picks. It was based upon that Big 5 thing, and I was like so lost.
Oh, makes sense.
Also, when in his thing, he said that I think that NU will handle the travel better than Nebraska. Also confused me. I was like, I feel like a letter is missing.
Right.
That's fine.
So he has Northwestern spread. His total.
He also has, he said Northwestern, he has
over.
plus 12.5. He has over 50.5, but then says, don't think we'll see a lot of defense here. I don't.
He had what? Over?
He has over 50.5, and he has Northwestern, he had him plus 12.5.
Mm-hmm. But he said,
So
don't think we'll have a lot of defense. That would
Returning
make sense.
several starters or offensive line. If you like a long shot money line. So if you like one, my guess is he likes Nebraska to win this game based off of these notes that he sent us.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Oh shoot. Battery is not. I got time. I got time.
All right, we got time.
We got time to make a pace.
I mean, his games were UTEP, New Mexico, and Hawaii, with the bonus being Nebraska, which
and his
from
big
a betting
one,
perspective,
big one from like a big stat perspective was Hawaii, the Hawaii cover stat, which was basically teams traveling to Hawaii first week of the year, Hawaii covers.
last 7 years.
7 years, and I saw something today. It was like 12 out of the last 13 or something like that. I'm pretty sure that Hawaii's home opener that they've covered as underdogs, like 12 out of the last 13 or something like that.
So
6 out of the last 7.
Which games are we going with?
I don't know. I thought we were just doing the one game this week, and then best bet. Like I just didn't know if we wanted to do like a best bets type of thing.
We could do that. I like that.
Just because there's not that many games this week, so like if there's something that like for Steve that would stick out as a best bet.
Because then we can do our big parlay because I have nothing on these.
That's what. Yeah, I mean, I feel like adding to that just not
Don't
like that's,
care. I mean, we'll have to bet,
right?
But I just don't care.
Because I would agree with Steve. Like on a stat like that in games like these, like that's the kind of trends that you're looking for.
So this one for our moneyline lock. Last year, if you guys remember, last season for our moneyline locks, we did minus 200 or better. Mm-hmm. The only game that we would be able to choose from is the North Texas UTEP game.
Yep. Which I mean,
unless
actually too like that's kind of like early Maction.
Yeah.
Without being a Mac
unless
team,
you want to choose
a
dog.
Excuse me.
Unless you want to choose an underdog, like.
None of the underdogs deserve that. None of them.
Weren't the Charlotte 49ers decent last year? No.
Absolutely not. All right. Cool.
I was just looking at what they could be.
So you want to run down Steve's bets that he has in his best bets?
Yeah, I can pull up. So Steve gave us a little bit of a preview before he was here. He's got kind of his week 0 top 3 picks here. First one starting off, he likes the dog in this one. This is more of a pick'em game, I would say. But he likes the underdog in this one with UTEP money line at plus 100. On FanDuel, it's still there.
It's not. It's minus 105.
So they're favored at?
No. Minus 115.
Minus 115. So they're
105. It's
so it's literally more of a toss up there, I guess. So if you wanted to take UTEP money line, go towards FanDuel.
Go to FanDuel, baby. Go to FanDuel.
UTEP at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Plus 1.5, plus 100 money line.
And they are. He said he's like, I'm expecting a sold out show in El Paso. The Sun Bowl is a terrible place to play, so he likes UTEP, and he says orange out. Will the mean green come to play?
That'd be a fun one to be at. That's going to be rowdy.
Carly gets her greens and oranges mixed up, so that part makes me laugh.
Wait, she's colorblind?
Nope, she's not. She just like when she sees orange, her mind automatically. I don't know why.
I don't believe
green.
that she's not colorblind.
She's not colorblind. She just doesn't. She can't.
She's just 3 years old.
Yeah,
Can't talk.
right.
Yeah. Next one. He likes New Mexico's.
I'm definitely calling her out next time I see
for
her
sure.
on that.
Next.
Like my green shirt?
Yeah.
It's orange.
Next bet he likes New Mexico State to cover against Nevada. That one for me, if he and I were betting straight up, I would completely bet against that. I like Nevada better than New Mexico State.
Isn't that a shitty shot? Isn't that what that is called?
It feels like it.
100%. Well, I guess there's $50 more in the pot because I don't plan on losing that one. So I do. That would probably be my favorite bet.
Wait, where's the dun-dun-dun-dun?
New Mexico State was 2-10 last year.
Because it's going to make.
Nope. Shitty shot alert.
Shitty shot alert.
So New Mexico State plus 8.5.
Write
minus
it
110.
down. Shitty shot.
It's still there. By the way, the line has not.
It's at
moved
plus
on that.
9 on DraftKings.
Okay, so
Wait, are you going against him specifically on one item, or like the entire bet?
On his top 3 pick, that one.
that pick.
He took New
specifically.
Mexico State plus 8.5. He's going Nevada.
Okay.
I mean, unless any of you guys want to get in on that
Well,
bet
I
as
love
well.
when people that aren't here get shitty shots.
Yeah.
Bet against them.
It's so much fun.
I mean,
Stoy's over here in Oakland.
Yeah.
Up in the top row in Oakland. Squeaking away.
so
Anybody get that?
we'll keep
Oh, the A's. That is the Oakland A's.
Oakland A's.
we'll keep going. Jerry got him. Jerry Kill coming out of the gates hot is what he says. Has demonstrated a record of success at each place he's been. Nevada was gutted and hired a career assistant coach as the head coach. He said, I took this back around plus 12 or something that sort several weeks ago when lines were first released.
Yeah, so I mean, do you have to go against the plus 12?
No, he has it written in here at plus 8.5.
Plus 8.5?
He has what his bet is.
I'm just saying, with that caveat, does Ryan need to give him 12?
Why would I? He is the one who's taking them still at 8.5.
So
he's willing to take.
He's also the rookie, and he needs to realize we do this on.
He's
Tuesday.
willing to take.
That's
He's
fair.
willing to take.
You have a
stricter
tornado
bets.
Tuesday. This is what happens.
This is what
to you.
happens.
It's part of the tornado.
He's gonna owe $150 real soon.
And then his next big one that he likes, Hawaii 6.5 versus Vanderbilt at home.
And it's 8.5 now.
Yeah, so that one's a big swing. You might want to know more about that one, bud.
Yeah, I haven't.
Let's message him. It's been
Big
He said he'd be an hour late, which I don't know.
Big
why he would just
distraction to go to the island for Vandy.
He's probably listening right
Rainbow Warriors have
He's
covered
not.
opening weekend the last 7 years or some crazy shit like that. I'm reading verbatim what he said. You said it was like 12 or something like that?
now. I thought I saw longer, but like definitely like 6 out of the last 7 or 7 out of the last 8 or
has covered opening weekend last 7 years
He says Vandy
or some crazy shit.
Vandy
like
gets
right.
I
Vandy
love
gets
that.
the win, but barely, and tucks tail to get home as fast as possible.
I mean, you're in Hawaii, so that's his point, is that they're there on vacation, not to play football.
You
I
can
mean-
do both. We did it at San Diego.
So the money in this one's kind of fun. So they expect it to be kind of high scoring. The money,
Is dead nuts even on DraftKings?
Minus 115 on the over.
yeah, it's
What's your
going
over?
towards over 53.5.
54,
So that makes sense. That makes sense that it hasn't moved there yet.
or it got moved.
But
there.
again, it's
I
at
don't know.
it's Tuesday, right? So these lines are gonna move, but we want to make sure that we're talking about them now.
But you can lock them in now, or if you listen to this later as these come out, and the lines have moved aggressively away from what we were saying, or for that, you should probably jump on. Not saying you should. It's not advice, but you should.
But you should.
But you should.
So his bonus
Also,
we already talked about.
real quick, so like just I just happened to scroll down far enough. So next week, New Mexico State plays Minnesota.
Jeez.
They're 37.5-point underdogs
36.5 on DraftKings. Wow.
right now. And I just did that, like, proving your point as far as looking ahead. Like, I mean, we're looking ahead Tuesday to Saturday. Like, right now, you could put a bet in that's...
That was last year.
And, like, you're telling me... So the question is, do you think
Minnesota.
Nevada is 29 points better than... Or Minnesota is 29 points better than Nevada?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Right? And that's what the...
Yeah.
So if we recall...
I don't know what that
New
tells me.
Mexico State
overall.
next week is
Either
I'm
that
taking
or they're
that 36.5.
really telling you that
They have
New
no
Mexico
clue.
State is that bad.
that bad. Right. Like, you've got to read it one way or the other, and that's going to affect which way you bet.
It'd be
But
interesting to follow that and watch this game and then
Right.
look
that
something.
that line, that crazy
that should make
line,
Ryan feel better, in my opinion.
That crazy line that you just talked about, though, reminds me of last year. The Iowa State UNI game opened ridiculous like
so
that.
dumb. That was so dumb.
It opened ridiculous like that.
Dumb.
It was,
Wasn't even on the board in a lot of places because it was so high.
and it was
so
the
dumb.
They don't put
easiest.
those games on
It
the
was
board.
the easiest
Here.
bet
How
to
much
make all
did I
year.
Put on there. Put it-
Exactly.
put it all.
But I think so. We already talked about so his bonus game. He took Northwestern at 12.5.
Mhm.
12.5.
He's got to like him at 13.5.
He likes him at
Yeah.
13.5. He said that like you said, he thinks Nebraska will travel better. He thinks their offense will be better. They return several starters on their offensive line, which is nice. And then over 50.5 wins, or sorry, over 50.5 points at -110. He liked. Don't see a lot of defense. And then he said if you like a long shot, the money line of Northwestern isn't. He's like, it's dicey, but it could
Right.
be fun to start there. And then this is my favorite line of Steve's breakdown. This is the first game of the season. Might as well have some fun on Saturday morning and lay some money down.
Absolutely.
My favorite part of it. I love that. He does have some promo plays and different stuff like that, but
I know nothing about him.
I'd have to look more into it.
All right, guys. Do you guys have any locks or?
I mean, my lock that I'm going to take, I'll just do spread lock at Nevada
Oh, because of
at -8.5.
I don't have
Steve, I'm going to put it in there for you. New Mexico State.
when you do a lot of gut stuff, you actually need to see teams play. You can't just pray. This chair needs fixed.
I honestly,
Just needs a little WD-40.
I'm not going to lie. Like, if Steve wouldn't have had that there and given me this idea of, okay, I can take Nevada at 8.5, I arguably would have taken Utah State at 27.5. Connecticut is horrible, and Utah State is a 11 win,
At what and a half?
27.5 point favorites. Like, I would take that because Connecticut is that bad.
But are they?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. It's new season.
New season game, first game of the year. I get that.
That's why I have no confidence in most things here.
Over under locks. I'm not gonna call the Nebraska one a lock. I'm gonna take the over there, but I'm not gonna call it a lock.
Because I don't have locks. Zero.
Again, it is very hard to come up with the
Ooh,
locks when you
ooh.
haven't seen one.
I will give a money line lock. Utah State beats UConn. And it's only minus 3,500. That I'll call that.
I mean,
It's
that
not
would,
gonna. I
that's
mean,
a-
Lock it.
If you need something in your parlay, and you just need a little.
okay.
little
So
something,
since we don't have any locks, since we don't have a ton of locks, before we jump into our big parlay, what's
with
your one?
NFL,
What's your one DGen pick? Your college DGen pick that you would,
this week?
that you like.
That's a good question.
So I'm gonna have to look this up because I think this team was okay last year.
I don't. Is it really a D-Gen pick if like the money's on it?
Right. Like if you're taking a favorite,
Yeah.
like
it
are
would
you
be a
locking
parlay. I would take Nebraska in the first half at -7. And then I would take. Like I would just do a big ass parlay. Actually.
I mean, if I were to go out on a whim here and be a D-Gen pick and do a dog or something that's kind of longer odds, I can see Wyoming beating Illinois in the first game of the year at +400.
Yeah, I just don't think Illinois is going to be that bad this year.
Mm-mm.
Like if I thought Illinois was going to be poor, then
There you go.
yes, I just don't think they're.
I got a bet at plus 1,334. That's 7-pick parlay. Over 27 total first half. They're all first halves, by the way. Total first half over 27. North Texas, UTEP. Money line first half for FAU. Utah State money line first half. Illinois first half money line. Jeez. Nevada money line first half. Nebraska spread -7 first half. And Vandy first half. Gets me to +1. That would be my D-Gen pick.
What's the first half?
The reason the first half?
What's the Vandy first half line?
-230.
No, I know. What is it though?
Oh.
Like what is Vandy favored by in the first half?
Oh, that's not money line.
No, I know. I'm just curious.
4.5. No.
Because like I expect Vandy to come out sleepwalking. Not to say they're going to lose.
Yeah, but they could sleepwalk and still have a touchdown lead.
Right. Hawaii just likes to play big air ball. That's why I'm saying like they could get up like 21-7 and then lose 40-21. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's fair.
That's where I see that game.
That's why I took them. That's why I took Vandy as the money line. I still think they'll have the lead going into half.
Right.
That would be my D-Gen pick if I was to pick it, but that's just me stretching.
And I'm not saying that like lock Wyoming in at Illinois, but if I had to pick one of these teams to have an upset, that's my favorite one.
Yeah,
sure. All right. We don't have any NFL this week, do we?
Just more preseason.
Just more preseason.
Next week will be a little bit more fun to
news.
talk about because we'll have cuts and different stuff like that we can talk about.
Yeah.
I'd say more so in college this week. You saw some starting quarterbacks named, maybe within some quarterback battles. Nothing huge, but I mean that's really was the news from college football. NFL, you're just seeing guys that are definitely going to make the roster that might have been on the edge, and then guys that are still fighting for spots.
Next week cuts will be right before our show, and
Kenyon Drake did get
picked
reportedly cut from the Raiders,
Yeah.
and they were going to pay $11.2 million to cut him because they signed him last year.
If I was ever going to get cut,
You know what the average salary of the NFL running back
8?
is?
Wasn't it?
No.
It was.
It's like 4.5.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, basically they overpaid
3
$7
years.
million to cut him.
Did he really perform that bad?
I mean, if you have guys that you want to pay later,
Hey, all I know is he's going to have a good season for someone else and get paid.
probably.
Vikings took a little Raiders player
Oh
away.
yeah, there we go. There's some news.
Oh, yeah.
So the Vikings took a 7th round conditional pick.
Real quick before you say this, who's the Vikings backup quarterback right now?
Nobody knows.
They have 2 that are competing for it: Sean Mannion
Mm-hmm.
or Kellen Mond,
Okay,
The
who
third
they
guy.
just drafted.
correct.
Who they thought was a lot of people were high on him. Analysts, everybody were high on this guy. And Zimmer came out last year. Everybody kind of dogged Zimmer a little bit for saying this, but Zimmer's like, they're all saying, "What do you think of Kellen Mond? I've seen enough of him in practice. I see him every day.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't he your second string guy? I see him every day." That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And now the thing is okay, they got a new coach, maybe a new offense, new this, new that. Maybe it'll be different. And it wasn't. He's gotten time with Jefferson. He's gotten time with Thielen. He's gotten time with Cook, throwing those guys the ball, handing the ball off there. And he had a decent first week of preseason, but his second week was through 2 interceptions, I believe.
I saw a couple memes of him.
But, like, for me, I absolutely love it because from my understanding
So they picked up Nick Mullins from...
who has started a couple games in the NFL.
Right, but was he still with San Francisco?
He was with the Raiders.
Raiders, okay.
So they traded, from my understanding of how this deal works, so it's a conditional 7th-round pick if Mullins can be on the opening day roster or week 1 roster.
The year of the pick or this year?
This year.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
So if Mullins beats out Mond or Mannion or whoever and he's on the, week
Then
1,
they
he's
get
a
the
backup, then they get the pick. If they don't, does Mullins go back to the Raiders?
The thing is,
That's right, because Mullins played pretty well actually
Yeah,
for the Raiders in the Hall of Fame game.
yeah.
Does he go back to the Raiders? Is that how that works, or how does it work?
I don't know.
I'm assuming
Probably he goes
put into
trades null and void, so he would go
free
back to the
agency?
Raiders. At that point, the Raiders would
Cut him,
Release
more than
him.
likely.
release him. However, you don't bring in a quarterback with 1 week left to not think he's going to be on the roster.
Oh, I don't disagree.
Right.
And
You just don't.
realistically,
That's not enough time.
you're not, and they're not going to carry 4 guys on the roster.
No, Mon will go practice squad.
No, they'll put Mannion on the practice squad.
One of them's going practice. I mean,
I
they're
don't
going practice
disagree.
squad. They're not
All right.
going anywhere. No other team's picking them up either.
Right.
They're going practice squad.
Yeah.
And
My
yes,
my
probably
only
Manning,
thought
'cause
process.
You'll
So I did.
protect your draft
So
pick.
from that standpoint, like a serviceable backup, if he needs to come in and play a game or play, he's a serviceable guy.
Mhm.
So I loved it from that standpoint. I also, what it draws me to believe is, one, the Mond era is over. Like he's, unless they think, okay, maybe he'll develop in this new offense. I don't really see it, but I think maybe they go out and get a value pick in a very, very strong quarterback class this year.
if there's a quarterback left, you guys are going to make the playoffs. So you're going to be in the 20s plus.
There will be a quarterback left.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
There'll
good
be a
quarterbacks.
quarterback left, but
I
they
just
won't be the
think
top
that
5
the quarterback
quarterbacks.
class is one. Yes, it's strong, but I think that the NFL run on quarterback youth recently makes that class deeper because there's not as many teams that need one.
I mean, we still have to get through season,
No, 100%.
right? I mean,
100%.
Matt Corral, season-ending injury.
Yep. Liz Frank.
LeFranc.
LaFranc.
Apparently Mayfield was head and shoulders above.
Yeah, Mayfield won the starting job in Carolina.
Like apparently, clearly, not even close.
Okay,
And
so
I think if you look at it, he's the best quarterback on that roster.
But
But
Darnold's there.
I mean, Mayfield and probably rightfully so, like for non-playing actions, gets a lot of crap.
Yeah.
When the guy's healthy, he's a top 12 NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold is not.
no.
Never has been.
Yeah. At no point for a season long has Darnold ever been a top 20 quarterback in the NFL.
And I was listening to, I forgot what show it was, on NFL Radio on the way over. They were specifically talking about this because they were like, well, do you trade Darnold? They're like, no, you can't. He costs too much.
Right.
And also, who wants him?
Right.
And the reason Mayfield won the starting job to begin with is because they've laid out the red carpet. They were looking for a quarterback, regardless of who it was before Mayfield, to get rid of Darnold. They didn't want him starting.
Right.
Now I know Garoppolo is more expensive than Darnold, but people are going to go get Garoppolo before they go get Sam Darnold.
100, as they should.
It's not even
That's not even a question in the eyes. So for them to ask, like, oh, do you trade Sam? How?
But what's
What
going to
are
happen
you gonna
with
get out of it?
Garoppolo? Speaking of, nothing. He's just going to hang out in San Francisco?
What I said before is someone's going to get hurt early on, and
But
he's going to get traded.
not until the season starts.
Or Trey Lance is going to get hurt, and then he's there.
Right.
But that's all going to happen before the trade deadline, in my opinion.
So your prediction per se is Garoppolo will be a starting quarterback before trade deadline. That's fair. I can't hardly argue that. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But it is what it is in that situation.
Well, let's go to one more quick break, and then we'll get into big parlay. And then I've got Beakside Chat.
Oh yeah.
Starting at 7.
Welcome, our fireside chat. This one's gonna be hot. A couple of topics will be overall trust in a relationship between your planner and yourself.
It's our job to figure out what's in the best interest for you.
We have to start this thing early.
How do I play this game patient enough to see this trade turn to fruition?
Real estate in general can have a lot of tax benefits to you.
Listen and subscribe to the No BS Wealth podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
No clue. I don't know if they can hear us, but no effing clue. Oh, good. The Pirates scored. That's not ideal. That's a very, very good question. We need to set what why did it cut off again? Welcome, our fireside chat. This one's gonna be hot. A couple of topics will be overall trust in a relationship between your planner and yourself.
It's our job to figure out what's in the best interest for you.
We have to start this thing early.
How do I play this game patient enough to see this trade turn to fruition?
Real estate in general can have a lot of tax benefits to you.
Listen and subscribe to the No BS Wealth podcast on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's like $20 to win, $256 or something like that.
Okay.
So not crazy,
But still.
but definitely doable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we are back. Now, rules this season for the big parlay, not our futures one from last week. What rules, how big, how degenerate does this thing need to be?
Let's get some winners.
I mean, absolutely. But like plus 1,500?
Seems like a good start.
Like, is that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate
definitely
that.
plus 1,000.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't hate that. Like Cole said, like let's get some winners, and I think like once we get some winners, and we can kind of play a little bit more with house money. For those who want to call that,
That's fair.
once we can play with some house money, then we can start getting a little bit longer odds. But I think once we build this up, let's build it up until we start going. Like I think last year we started at plus 276,352 or something like that,
We were trying to win millions, okay? That's all.
which was awesome. It was fun.
Great. All right, so we can probably say Moneyline Nebraska because we locked on that. Utah State, clearly, I mean, you might as well just throw in that money line. I don't know if we do the spread or not on that, but for sure, that's in there. What do you guys think about the over on the Wyoming, Illinois?
You can follow the money in a sense there.
Do we just follow the money? Is that the theme? I'm going to do it. I'll let you know. And if the money's not there, I'll do money line on a favorite.
So I just went random, like follow the money. I went Nebraska money line, Utah State money line, UTEP 1.5, over 43.5 with Wyoming, Illinois, under 59.5 Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, money line Nevada, and over 53.5 for the Vanderbilt Hawaii, and that's at plus 1724.
What did I miss of yours?
I don't know.
Did you do that one?
Oh, your UTEP one, you went with the points. I took UTEP at 1.5.
No, so it's the same. Odds are the same.
Yeah.
Odds are the
Should
same.
be.
I prefer if we do that, I want the over, not points to UTEP.
And that's perfectly fair on that one because it's.
But that's 1724. That's not bad.
I like that.
Actually, I don't mind that at all.
Would you?
I like it. Oh shit. I mean, the North Texas UTEP will be high scoring. I'm not worried about that. I don't think in Hawaii Vanderbilt, Hawaii always scores at least 30 points themselves, no matter what happens. So I don't mind that at all.
The only one that we could do to boost our odds a little bit would be to take Utah State to cover 27.5. Like that's the only one out of these that I'm like, yeah,
we could do that. We
that.
could throw a preseason game on there. If you guys really wanted to.
Do they allow it?
I don't know, probably. But I like it's week. It's week.
Did you take the Ravens to win 23 in a row?
I mean, that would be the one just because of the record they have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you put that in there, it's 23-43.
I mean,
which is $20 to win 468.66.
And that's with UTEP over or the UTEP plus 1.5?
UTEP over.
Same odds, but I just wanted to make sure.
Are you? What's UTEP's over there? What's the points? 54.5 is what I have.
I need to go build this on DraftKings, don't I?
Yeah, you do. But the Ravens are 6-point favorites, so if you take them on their money line,
you guys, it's just a cool. I mean, that's a lot of wins.
Yeah,
that's just a lot of wins. All right, so what was it again?
So
Nebraska money, Nevada.
Sorry, where did I? Hang on, I gotta go back to this Ravens.
I just need your bets slip, bud.
Yep. So Nebraska money line over 43.5. Wyoming, Illinois.
Oh, it's 44. But okay, I'll just follow.
Under 59.5 for the Charlotte, Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
Nevada money line. Over 53.5 for Vanderbilt, Hawaii.
And then over
on the UTEP.
And then
Utah State money line is what we had as well.
Oh yeah. I already had that one. And then I need to go to NFL and get me some Ravens.
Preseason games for this weekend. The Ravens play
plus 2760. But that's because there's no halves really in those.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Correct.
I would rather have the halves.
Yeah, mine's 23.76.
I like it. I'm done.
Is that with the Ravens?
Yeah, that's what the Ravens.
What's yours? Yours is 23.76.
2760.
2760. But
on DraftKings.
On DraftKings. Here's the difference. Well,
you get half. You get the hooks.
So the question
are
is,
all the hooks in our favor?
That's
hold on. Where did it go? All right.
I mean, I would think so, with it being plus 400 basically.
Over 44 for Wyoming.
So we have over 43.5 here.
Okay.
So that's in our favor.
By the yeah, 59 for Charlotte.
59.5 here,
Okay. So
which is still in our favor because we went the under.
Yeah, we were under 59.
So it's in our favor.
Over 55 UTEP.
We have over 53.5 here
Mm.
in our favor.
Over
Or 54.5, sorry.
I was like 53. That's
54.5. Yes.
and then over 54 for Vandy.
We have over 53.5 for that one.
So it is in our
So
favor.
all of them
all
are
of the hooks are
all
in
of
our
them
favor.
are in our favor.
All right. Oh,
Which it would explain the 400 number.
so yeah. All right. Looks like that's what we're doing.
Did you notice the other day when Steve put in some round robin bets?
Yeah, I did.
I like that.
I liked it. I was like,
So we got big. Are you familiar with round robin bets?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got big on those a little bit last year, making some decent money off of them.
Yeah.
I might go back to the well this year and go back to some round robin stuff.
Shit. Typed the wrong number.
The round robins are fun.
Because
They're a good combination of
hey, I can hit it big.
protective parlay.
Like I can hit it. That's what I like about it. I can hit it big, or hey, these couple legs, they're going to be paired together in some sort in this round robin. I know they're going to hit.
Or most likely they are.
It protects you from having like
The 8 out of 9 hit and you win nothing.
F you. Yes.
But if 8 out of 9 hit in this one, instead of winning 15 grand, you might win $75.
Yeah. I mean, even a little bit
$400
more than that.
whatever. Yeah.
Right.
That was just it.
All right, $20 for 572. Let's
Boom.
get it. All right.
For 572?
Yeah.
Where'd you take that at?
DraftKings. We got better odds.
The hooks were in our favor on FanDuel.
Yeah. For 27.60.
No. It was-
DraftKings was 27.60.
Yeah.
in FanDuel, the hooks were in our favor for 23.76.
Yeah. So we had plus 400.
So you're taking worse points to. You're
To
just
get
like,
more
okay,
money.
we can get the 400.
Mm-hmm.
We can get an extra point in these games.
Right. Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Because-
but the worst case, like some of those were solid numbers. We would push. We just wouldn't win all of that money.
Right. The only thing is, we're just
That's
gonna.
it.
You're not gonna lose the parlay because of it. You're gonna
Right.
push the
Push.
parlay, which is why. I mean, that's why
For
the numbers are where they are.
Yeah. And plus
So.
for 400.
400. Yeah.
We're gonna take it. Anywho,
That's why when you said 53.5 for the one, there was a pause because that would make more sense
that's correct.
to go back and take
Correct.
the full point.
Absolutely.
But as always, everybody, like, subscribe, follow, share. We appreciate you guys. This was a fun week 0.
Getting back into
But
it.
getting back into the football, actually making some picks that are going to mean something. Preseason's always hard to do because you don't know who's going to play. You don't know where they're going to play. But next week when we get to talk about cuts, next week when we get to talk about, okay, this Ireland game between Nebraska and Northwestern, what happened there. And then there are some big week 1 matchups that we're going to be able to be a part of. Ohio State, Notre Dame being one of them. First game of the year, if I remember correct. You guys just brought it up as a rivalry game. ESPN College Game Day is doing a little bit of a preview, like a premier game day for an hour ahead of the West Virginia-Pittsburgh game.
Correct.
So some of those, I mean, it's going to be a fun week 1. But football's back, baby.
And we got raw dogs.
Raw dogs. Stay tuned
And
next
raw
week.
dogs.
Next week, pickle beers, baby.
Pickle beers,
Pickle
and raw
beers
dogs.
and raw dogs. Wait, no,
Hit-
not pickle beers. Just hot dog beers, raw dog beers.
Raw dog beers.
Just raw dogging it. No big deal.
Raw dog straw. Here we go.
Peace.
So excited.
Too excited.